You make me happy. You stood right beside me. Yeah. Yeah. And I really love you. You should know. Gotta make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go. Let this play through. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This day has gone by fast already, but I guess when you get out to bed kind of late, it goes by fast. I'm gonna let a couple songs play, and then we'll get started. Before I let go. Nothing I would not do. Hey, before I let you go. Ooh. I remember when I when I was in college. Go to them parties, boy. They play some Frankie Beverly and Maze. Remember one time the whole crowd, before I let you go. Hey. Show y'all a picture. It's me and my doobie. My tuba. My tuba. That was my first set of locks that I was doing myself. I took them down though. And I took them down on me like I had a big old bush. But ain't she cute? Ain't she cute? Doom. Hey. Was this the of course I got the chat off, but was this the song that Beyonce redid? Whichever one she did by Frankie Beverly was like, it was a no-go. And I don't have no issues with her music, but hey. So I'm going to get started. Just let this play. Lady who raised me, I used to throw away a lot of shit. Okay. I mean, every time I pay the bill, you know, the remittance or whatever it's called, I throw it away. Just throw away shit. I have gone through, I don't know, probably like at least 10, at least since I was a young adult of wardrobes. I didn't throw those away, but I was always giving my stuff away. She couldn't understand that. She was like, why do you always, you know, it's like, if I'm not wearing it, what's the point in me? And I don't like it anymore. What's the point in me holding on to it? You know, so I'll always give stuff away. But one thing, when she used to see me throw away so much stuff, and she used to be like, you know, why do you throw away everything? You don't keep anything for your records or anything. Well, for one, because this is how you're teaching me, by lightweight criticizing me about it. Okay, you didn't teach me anything about keeping records and none of that shit. So here I'm a young adult, handling shit, paying shit, bills and all that kind of shit, or whatever it may be, and I just throw it away. What am I supposed to do with it? Okay, this is how you want to teach me, but whatever. So she taught me in her roundabout way, hold on to everything, okay? Or hold on to as much as you can, you know, for a period of, she gave me, you know, depending on what it was. I got this on a different kind of stand. Hold on. Taking off my socks. It's hot. Let me turn my fan on real quick. You know, so depending on what it was, you know, you want to keep this thing for a period of 7 years, this for a period of however long. Now, this is before, you know, internet and all of that, okay? Now, so I started doing it. Some things I opted not to anymore, but I started doing it. So even with, you know, the advent of the internet and whatnot, and, you know, being able to pay online, I still, not with everything, well, with a lot of stuff, I still opt for to receive stuff by mail, okay, paper, because that's how my mind is wired, and that's how I choose for it to stay wired. I could change it, you know, but no, send me that bill in the mail. I'm gonna pay it online, but still send me. I want paper, okay. Certain things I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna document and keep. So even though, she did the best she could, I guess. With this woman at this point, I don't know what was sincere and genuine and what wasn't. I don't know what was true about her, what wasn't. People ask me questions, I'm like, hell, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know what she told me and what I was made to believe, but I don't know. You mystery to me, okay? I don't know shit about shit. All I know is what I was told, and obviously, which I question now, and all I know is what I saw from my perspective. Shit, when people doing shit to you and lies and illusion and veils over you, whatnot, you can be looking at something and not see what you're looking at. Okay, so on that note, but because she did kind of teach me that in her roundabout way, I learned to hold on to a lot of shit. Okay. Like I was saying the other night, important things that I feel like are important. I mean, I have some stuff. This woman, it seemed like knew everything that I did. She remembered everything. Positive, negative, whatever. She remembered. She could tell me some stuff. Remember that time you said or you did such, and I'm like, I did. I said that. I did that. I did that program. Shit, I don't remember. I be doing shit and moving on with life, okay? Moving on to the next thing, goddamn, okay? But what I'm about to do now, there was a man that I knew. I used to work out at one of the colleges here, and it was a group of guys that worked out in there every morning, same time I did. The older men. We used to hang out and talk and laugh, have a good time. One of them said to me one time, "It's a poor frog that don't praise his own pond." Okay. And I had, one of them older sayings. He was older. I had never heard that before. Now, I have shared with you some of my, the one reading I did, accomplishments in terms of college and some a little other things because of Breauna Jewell Bellamy's lies about me. Okay. The video where she said, "It's nasty. What's she doing up there in Cleveland, Ohio? It's nasty. It's nasty." Video that I started to listen to, but a few minutes in, I was like, I'm not listening to this bullshit. Okay. And video that a couple other people said was so nasty and disgusting they couldn't even listen to it. Saying I made up, being in college and all this kind of stuff. Now, I have shared with you all on some of my videos that I was a hypnotherapist. I showed my certifications and whatnot. And I'm going to show you something. Hopefully my laptop is shit. It's old as hell and it's shit. Okay, so hopefully it works. I've tried to download some of this stuff, but I don't know how to do it, okay, with this. So I may have to take it in somewhere or just get a new one, hell. I don't really use it often though, okay? From when I was a hypnotherapist. I said a hypnotherapist, not a hypnotist. And people like her, Breauna Jewell Bellamy, take that as an opportunity to say, "See, she's doing people magic on people with their bullshit." Okay. Now, I had my own business. My own business was called I Am Well Now. I am going to show you a clip I was on a show called here in Cleveland, Ohio, back in 2010, called Good Company. It's a morning program. Okay. It was on TV3 WKYC. Okay. It says /NBC. Yeah. Okay. NBC. Okay. NBC affiliate here in Cleveland. 10 a.m. All right. Now, so you can get an understanding. It dispels people's bullshit and their lies about who I am. I'm going to tell you who the fuck I am with what I have. Hold on. Okay. Now, we don't have to watch this whole thing. Okay. You can if you want to, whatever. Okay, you see it. Here's the morning program. I'm not going to fast forward it because, like I said, the thing is shit. Fred Griffiths, old head in Cleveland. Okay. Michael Carter Moore. He was the man that interviewed me. You can get understanding of who it is I am and what I've done. Not based off nobody's bullshit and their lies.
Good morning and welcome to Good Company today. It is Thursday, January 7th. As we start a new year, 2010, and a new decade, a lot of people out there might want to have some resolutions of, like every year, quit smoking, sleeping better, losing weight. Well, and you're having a problem keeping those resolutions. Well, you might need hypnotherapy. Here to talk about hypnotherapy and how it's used is Nikki Lewis.
A legitimate profession. There I am.
Can you hypnotize me and speak better? How about that? Okay, well, the main question is, what do people use hypnotherapy for?
Many people use hypnotherapy for smoking cessation, to stop smoking, for weight loss. It has been used for pain relief, pain control, nail biting, test anxiety.
Oh, I need that for nail biting.
Self-esteem issues, as well as to enhance athletic performance.
So what exactly does hypnotherapy do?
Okay. Hypnotherapy uses hypnosis for therapeutic purposes, meaning that in hypnotherapy, we access the subconscious mind to eradicate unwanted behavior or to improve performance. And I say the subconscious mind because the subconscious mind stores everything, every experience, every thought that you have ever had, and it drives your actions as well. So you may do some things and you're not quite sure, why am I addicted to this, to eating like this, or why did I start smoking in the first place? Something that you can't stop doing, or whatever the issue may be. Why do I have low self-esteem? The answers reside literally within your subconscious mind. So we access the subconscious mind to find out the answer. And after we access the subconscious mind to find out the answer, we put a new program, quote unquote, in, or new thoughts, a new way of looking at things, so that you can eradicate those things that you don't want to do.
A lot of people watching this morning might think, okay, hypnotherapy, you're sitting on a couch, you've got a little pendulum going like this, or a little circle with How does it actually work? Does it differ with people's personality? Because I know I've tried to be hypnotized for fun, but my attention span isn't there, and it just didn't work. Does it happen and work with everybody, or is it one of those where you just want to be hypnotized?
Well, kind of both. Anybody can be hypnotized, but with being hypnotized, you have to want it. I cannot, I don't want to say that I can't hypnotize you. You can be hypnotized. Anybody can be hypnotized. But depending on what you're there for, say smoking cessation, and after you leave, you smoke or whatever, and say, oh, that didn't work for me. But did you really want to stop smoking? That's the key. And me personally, I don't use a pendulum. It's more of guided relaxation and guided meditation.
Okay, now, are people unconscious? Are they sleeping?
No.
How does that, are their eyes open? Are they closed? Because, again, we see a lot of, on TV, people being hypnotized. And again, how do you actually do it, and what do you expect from your patients?
Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis and hypnotherapy from the media, from television, books, and whatnot. Again, personally, I don't use a pendulum. You're not unconscious. The word hypnos, means sleep. It's a Greek word, but it means sleep. But you're not asleep. You are very conscious. You're very well aware of what's going on. You will remember the whole session. Usually you will remember the whole session. There are different levels of hypnosis where some you might be lighter and some you might go in deeper, where you may not remember every single thing, but you're not asleep, you're not unconscious, and you are in complete control. If you wanted to come out of the hypnotic state while you're in it, you very well could. That has happened before.
And that's like the big thing. You really want it to happen. You need to want it to happen in order for it to happen. Everybody wants to lose weight. All the smokers out there want to quit smoking, but they can't do it. So out of those two, which one's the bigger, losing weight or smoking?
I would say they're about equal at this point, yeah.
What do you, could you give us an example of what you would say to someone to help them quit smoking, let's say?
Well, first of all, what I like to do is I like to do what we call non-directive hypnotherapy or hypnoanalysis, where first of all I do an intake form and I do a small counseling session because I have some background in counseling, spiritual care counseling. And I'd like to know when you started, what started you, and how do you identify yourself as a smoker? And if it's an identification process, then let's get rid of that identification and place a new identification there, a new image, self-image there. Or it may be to replace something. You might have been a heavy eater at one point and you got that under control, but now you've replaced that addictive behavior with smoking. So when I hypnotize you and I take you into that hypnotic state, I speak to your subconscious mind, literally. Conscious mind, can you move out the way so I can speak with your subconscious mind? Sure, hopefully that'll be the answer. And the subconscious mind can tell me exactly what the issue is, exactly why it started, when it started, and how we can stop it. And then I'll put new suggestions, new identification, or replace something different there that's going to be healthy for you to stop that behavior. But also, I like to give my clients homework, if you know.
Oh, you know what? We're going to end on that note because you should take that back. Don't tell people you got homework. I hated homework. Well, you know what? You actually made me very relaxed, so I think a lot of people are going to give you a call. Nikki Lewis, hypnotherapist, 216-482-0057. Great website right there.
Right.
I am well.
Don't call that number because it's not my number anymore.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Greatly appreciate it.
This is in 2010. So what's that? That's 15 years ago. Okay, and it was around this time actually because it was cold outside. I remember. Okay, all right. So that's one thing. Now, the thing is, Lil Miss I said she lost her divinity, but before it was nasty. What I was doing, quote unquote, before I met her fucking ass. And want anything that she had. Somebody who don't do nothing but just sit there and criticize people all day long. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Now I have some more shit. Okay. Like I said, my computer, 221. Okay. My computer is kind of wonky here. Okay. Had a show years ago on Cleveland TV 20, which was the city's station, City of Cleveland, its television station, Cleveland TV 20. Look it up. Now, how did I get that opportunity? I called there. See, that's my thing. If you want something, just go do it and get it. You want to do something, you want to be something, don't be afraid. And then people, they see you do it and they're jealous of you because you took the steps to go and make your life work for you and do what it is that you want to do. You took a chance, you took a risk. Because what they gonna say? Either yes or no. They said yes. And we'll feature you. I didn't get one client from that, okay? All right, but I did have clients, okay, but not from that, all right? Not from the show, all right? But anyway, so there was another show I had. I used to teach religious studies. Obviously, I've talked about that, okay? And it was a show called Religion Today. I proposed the show. I was the creator, not the director. I was the creator, the host. I wrote everything out. I did the script, and I called the religious leaders. Now, why did I do it? Because I was teaching religious studies, and I found that when I was teaching religious studies at Tri-C in Lakeland, 2 community colleges here. I was at 3 campuses. I was at Tri-C West downtown and Lakeland Community College. Okay, how did I get that? I went for it. I applied. I called. I only had a master's and not in philosophy. It was a philosophy department. But because I took the steps, the head of the department told me she was hiring me because I took the steps. And I called and I was persistent. I did not have any teaching experience at that point, but I got the job. She made sure that was at Metro campus. She made sure I got the job at Western campus. And I didn't even have to interview, which you're supposed to for each campus. She worked in the department with the head over at West. Here, job is yours. Lakeland did exactly what I was instructed to do, called, interviewed. The position is yours. Okay. But what I found was when I was teaching that a lot of people didn't have some basic knowledge of religion. And I was like, this would be a great to teach people you know, like a public access television. I didn't know. All I knew, and I knew Cleveland TV 20. So I called. I called repeatedly. Called about 5 times. Finally, lady said she's not. She was never there. She was never there. She was never, and wasn't calling me back. Finally, lady said, just write your proposal and just come one day. And I did. And I talked to her. Met the head of the station. We chatted. She said, we don't normally do religious programming, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to do it. Okay, thank you. You're not going to get paid for it. I said, I don't have to get paid for it. But after like the second or third show, I was paid for it. This was done. I did it for a year, maybe a little bit over a year, but definitely a year. And it was after about the third show, I started to get a stipend. It was monthly. It wasn't an every week thing. Okay. I have all of the DVDs for the show. One of them I have shared on my community tab here because the guy, he was the first person. He was a Babylon. Okay. He has a, well, he's got a station here on YouTube, but he doesn't do anything with it, but he posted that on there. Okay. So I'm going to try to show you at least one because I don't have time to show all of them. And I wouldn't anyway because they were like a half an hour long. Pentecostalism, Catholicism. What was this? Dr. Ellis, Women in Ministry from the Pentecostal Church of Christ here in Cleveland. Okay. The United Church, is that what it says? United Church of Christ. Yeah, United Church of Christ. Pastor Doug Horner. Yeah, United Church of Christ. Unitarian Church. I think it was a 2-part series. Lutheranism here. Okay. Reverend Marvin McMickle. Some of you are familiar with him. Okay. This was 2 women, Dorothy Harris and Lenise Bozeman, for breast cancer awareness. But they were, what church was this? It's about breast cancer awareness, but I can't remember the church, and it's not on here. Islam. Okay. Bishop Jones. She was one of the first female bishops in, what church? I can't remember the church, what denomination. Was it Presbyterian? I think she was Presbyterian. She lived in the building that the lady who raised me lived in. I met with her. She became a mentor. She started the Virtual Cathedral for Christ, Enlightenment and Healing. This is what I interviewed her about. The Mennonites. Okay. Methodism. Okay. Baha'i. I forgot that I did that. I got 3 here. I don't think it was 3 series. I think it might, oh no, they're 4. I don't think it was a 4-part series. I think they just gave me 4 of the DVDs by accident. I don't know. I haven't looked at these in so long. The Assemblies of God. Okay. And then I always talked about when I did the clinical pastoral education. Okay. And Dr. Dennis Kinney. Let me see if I can bring that one up. Okay. Now, this is when I was, according to her and her nasty ass line ass video up here, and I was being nasty. Okay. Now, after the things that I've done and continue to do, what the fuck would I want from her? Somebody I met for 3 fucking months who just sits there and talks about people like a fucking dog. Get the fuck out of here. First he was nasty, it's nasty, it's nasty. And doing some real work. As a director in clinical pastoral education. So give us some background information about who you are, what you do. Yeah, I am. How you made it to Cleveland.
Okay. Well, it's kind of a long story, so I'll try to give you the short version.
Amy Green, she was my supervisor for clinical pastoral education when I was in Atlanta. I did my
because I was a female.
Not my internship. My internship. Not the
60s when I realized I really do want
not the residency. I thought it was Dennis Kinney. I thought I could have. He couldn't do it or something, or he was gone.
You can't be a preacher, so forget about it.
But she moved from Atlanta to Cleveland, Cleveland Clinic, and took over his position in this organization.
So I went off to seminary in my early 20s, and I went to Union Seminary in New York. And there I learned
I want to
about
fast
CPE,
forward it,
which
but
is clinical
like I
pastoral
said, my
education, and I got
computer
kind
is
of
shit.
excited about trying to do that after I
They
graduated.
may not have any interest
So I
necessarily
graduated
in
in
what's being
1986
said.
with my Master of
It's not the
Divinity,
point of why I'm
and I
showing
went
it.
straight into a CPE program in New York. But for one reason or another, it didn't quite work out. Sometimes it's the program's not a great match, and sometimes the timing's just not good. Other things were going on. I had my first child. I'd gotten married. I just didn't have the time for it. So 10 years later, we fast forward. My kids are grown, or almost grown, not grown. And I decide to go back into ministry, and I find out that hospice chaplaincy is a place that's really opening up, that there are jobs.
There I am, right
And I
there.
get very excited about the possibility of actually getting a job as a minister. By that time, I've been ordained. At my church, I've done a lot of work in my home church in Atlanta, which was Oakhurst Baptist, and had been an unpaid, unofficial minister in that church, but got excited about being able to work professionally as a minister and went into hospice. I wanted to go into hospice chaplaincy. So I found my way to Georgia Baptist, which no longer exists. It's now called Atlanta Medical Center. It got bought out. Excuse me, but it was a great program of CPE. I had a very different experience there, and they had a hospice placement, so I could do the hospice chaplaincy while I was training. So clinical pastoral education really is the practical hands-on, you remember this well, it's the hands-on training that you get after you've done your...
Now you heard how she said,
So
you
very
remember
much the
this
way-
well. Why? Because she was my supervisor when I did the internship in Atlanta. The fuck out of here, you lying ass.
A CPE model has you go to medical school and then do your practice in the hospital, and they call that the residency. That's what we modeled CPE after. Not we, I wasn't there many decades ago. They modeled it after the medical school model, where you would do your 3-year Master of Divinity, mostly have that finished, and then move on and do your clinical training. Where, as you recall, you're thrown into the setting to function as a chaplain.
As you recall, you're
and
thrown
then
into
you
the
come
setting.
back
Yes,
to
I did recall.
supervision for reflection on what happened to you, what your work was, what you said, what you did, why you did the things you did, why you said the things you did.
Right.
And as you recall, there's many
As you
components
recall.
to it. There's individual supervision, there's group supervision, there's case studies called verbatims, didactic presentations where you learn about cultural diversity or family systems theory, or any number of subjects that are going to end up being helpful to you in learning how to minister across a wide variety of people. So that's a little bit about what sort of CPE is for the lay person. I usually tell people that clinical ministry is so different from congregational ministry, because in your congregation, no matter what tradition you come from, Christian or otherwise, or what denomination you come from, you're sort of trained to perpetuate that tradition. In clinical ministry, you're not perpetuating your beliefs or your tradition at all. You're trained to minister to the needs of anyone, whether they're religious or not. Your role as the chaplain, and you did this well, was
And
to
you
be
did
present
this
with
well.
people in
Your
their
role as a
suffering
chaplain,
find the
and you
common
did
human
this
thread
well,
in suffering.
which I did.
And not be necessarily even concerned about what particular denomination or church, or except in the sense of, does this person have a faith tradition, and if so, is it helping them or not in their current crisis?
It's very different. Well, first I want to say, normally on the program, I like to invite religious leaders to talk about their particular religion to educate, the viewing audience who may not have heard of it before, or wonder what it was about. But the reason I wanted to cover clinical pastoral education, I can never forget my experiences as a chaplain, resident, or intern with CPE. I've had a wide range of experiences. I saw, of course, a lot of death, and you are face to face with people that you may normally not come in contact with, rather, on just an average day, depending on what
That's
your life
right.
is about. And it's an interesting experience to have to be
Yes.
present with that person, especially if their particular faith is not what yours is as a
Exactly.
chaplain.
Exactly.
And when I share my experiences with people always ask, well, how does a person become a chaplain? How do you become a chaplain? And then, it's go through this CPE and going to seminary, so on and so forth. So I thought it would be very, because I've gotten that question a lot. How does a person become a chaplain?
Right.
And it's an awesome experience too, because you are even now, I teach religious studies and I teach comparative world religion, and I try to emphasize to my students, especially those who may be going into nursing or and may work someplace like Cleveland Clinic, because you're going to come in contact with people of different faiths, which has everything to do with their culture, how they live, how they see the world, what they may allow doctors to do, what they may not allow doctors to do. And it would give them a better understanding if you have just a little bit of knowledge of their religion and how you can offer the care that they need. You know, because when you're in a hospital setting, so many walls that we have built up in our society, so many isms are completely torn down.
That's right.
I'm sick. I need help.
That's right.
I've even, as a resident, I've even been called to a room with someone who's an atheist. So how does an atheist call a chaplain? Well, when you're sick, and you may be facing death, you may find yourself doing a lot of things that you would have never expected to do. So it is just a great experience. And
Nikki Kenyatta Lewis, host.
You talked about the verbatims and didactics and the group work we did. But what I want you to tell us about, too, is tell us about some of the background, the history. How did CPE come into existence?
It's a great question, and I know how to answer that really well. I just finished my dissertation on it all. Back in the early part of the last century, the early part of the 1900s.
So, honey, because you're still watching Bug and Creep, there's nothing about you in any way, shape, or form that I would want. I have no confusion about whether I'm a man or a woman or who and what I am. Many people wants what I have. If he tries to take stuff from me, he lost her divinity. I've been places and talked to real people. Not just sat online behind a fucking keyboard. Making up fantasies. Following people to where they live. Moving to their city to where they live. Then calling them single black female and getting involved with the nuts. I'm going to see if I can bring up this one. I got Catholicism, Pentecostal Church of Christ. Let me see if I can bring up this one. Unitarian Universalism here. Miracle Church. These were two people too. June Clark and Leora Nash. Okay. Oh, here it is. Dennis Kinney. I knew that I had interviewed him. I just couldn't find it. He talked about Lutheranism. Just briefly, she was my supervisor when I did CPE, Clinical Pastoral Education in Atlanta, at the Atlanta Medical Center when I did the internship. I put up pictures about that. The internship is for a summer. The residency was a year-long program. She was when I was in Atlanta after I graduated, I did this internship. She was my supervisor, then moved here to Cleveland, Ohio. Really didn't want to do it at all, but I did. And this man that I'm about to show you here, Dennis Kinney, he was my supervisor at Cleveland Clinic for the residency, okay? And he moved on, okay? And just so happens, I look up, here's Amy Green, okay? I don't want you to see my sloppy room. And she took his position here in Cleveland, but I was done by then.
Absolutely. I don't want to use a ringtone.
Let me see. I gotta be careful when I try to forward this,
3.5 millimeter headset
because it might stop.
It's the one I carry.
You ever get those phantom vibrations in your pocket?
Okay.
Any questions? No. Are you sure? Yeah.
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Here it is. Here was the beginning of the program. I created everything. I didn't create the intro, and I didn't do the filming and the editing. That's the only thing I didn't do.
I Nikki Kenyatta Lewis, and welcome to Religion
Nikki
Today.
Kenyatta
Today,
Lewis.
our guest
Slimmer,
is Reverend
younger.
Dr. Dennis Kinney. He's an ordained minister in the Lutheran denomination and the chair
That's
of
my
the Department
supervisor.
of Spiritual Care at the esteemed Cleveland Clinic. He is also my former supervisor, mentor, and friend. Hello, Dennis. How are you?
Good to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. So happy to have you here. As we know, a mentor and a friend is not someone you see all the time, but when you do see them, you can always say that this is my friend. You gave me some good advice that I always think about, and I tell people now. My former supervisor, Dennis, told me. So, of course,
Hopefully that doesn't get you in too much trouble.
No, it does. It hasn't at all. So,
Good.
tell us about who you are. You know, why you're here in Cleveland, because of course I know that you're not from here,
Right.
but how you found yourself at the Cleveland Clinic.
Just show a few minutes.
5 years ago, it'll be 5 years ago next month, which has been gone by very quickly. Home territory for me is Detroit, actually. So this is not far from home territory. I was in San Francisco for almost 20 years before coming here. So came to be the director of spiritual care at the Cleveland Clinic, and that's what brought me. I'm also the co-director of healing services, which is bringing holistic care to the bedside, which includes massage and a variety of other things, and is a joint project between the chaplaincy department, spiritual care, and the office of patient experience. So there have been some surprises along the way. I fairly quickly began to get involved in some of those activities, and it's been really good to kind of link spiritual care in an important role with patient experience. That's been good.
Some things like massage or Reiki, those
Right.
holistic practices that we hear a lot about today.
Right, healing touch.
Well, let me ask you, just as a side note, you are here to talk about Lutheranism, but I'd like for you to just give a brief explanation. That department used to be called pastoral care,
Right.
but with your presence,
Right.
it became known as spiritual care. Can you tell us why the change? What does that mean and how it's different?
We were trying to match up. We were trying to broaden out the definition of the department. Pastoral care is particularly Christian and particularly, we think, spiritual care broadened it out a little bit and matched who the people are that come to the clinic. We serve Muslims, Christians of a whole wide variety, Jews, and any religious group that happens to be a patient or come for care at the clinic. It's our responsibility, and we thought spiritual care was more representative of who we served and how we did it. So,
Of course, I was a student of yours when it was pastoral care, becoming spiritual care
Right.
as a chaplain at Cleveland Clinic, and it really did broaden my understanding, and I gained a lot even to this day that I've used in my own practice, sometimes as a hypnotherapist. I'm a certified hypnotherapist,
Yep.
and it has helped me a lot, and even in just my own personal life. So thank you.
Good. You're
and I'm
welcome.
glad that you broadened that for us here in Cleveland.
thanks.
Okay, well, let's get into Lutheranism.
Okay.
First, can you tell me, what is the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America? What is that?
Okay. I'm not going to show all that.
It was the merged identity of a couple of the main.
My supervisor. Well, now, it was big. She's nasty. She up there being nasty. She's nasty. And I was actually working and doing something of significance. Then I said she lost her divinity. I was making fun of her teeth. Making fun of her, trying to make her feel humiliated with on the World Wide Web. You can look at it if you want to. There's only one more person I want to show. Is it McMickle that I want to show? Yes. One thing, I might show this Islam one because these used to be on the website. I mean, this was years ago. I mean, you see how I look. I'm much younger. slimmer. I think this was 2000. Yeah, this was 2011. Okay. But I never, this was the last, I believe Islam was the last program, the last show that I did. And I think, I see the notification. Just give me a second. I think Islam was the last one I did. No, because it says number 11. And I got like about 13 of them here. I never saw it on the website. So I was like, I wonder, did they, not put that one on the website? I mean, it definitely aired because I would watch it when it came on. For young people out there, anybody, you're doing your creativity, your work, and all of that kind of thing, and you are, whether whatever the platform is, YouTube or whatever, you may. It's like what's that saying that you older people say youth is wasted on the young, and I understand that. Don't dismiss anything that you do, that you put out there, because I can say now, oh, I'm so proud of this. And I was proud of it back then. But at the same time, I'm young and I'm looking at them so critical of myself and all of this kind of thing, And because of the nature of, like I said, I was born to somebody else. They shipped me here to Cleveland, Ohio, to be with my dad, who ran for his fucking life. And the lady raised me, and she did what she did. Okay, stole all my money. You understand what I'm saying? And did so much dirt, that I was totally oblivious to, honestly, until I started doing tarot, watching tarot and doing tarot on YouTube. I mean, I have feelings, I have thoughts, this, that, and the other, but it just like, man, the floodgates just opened, like, whoa, okay, I see. And so when I did this, I really didn't get support. Now, the lady who raised me, when I would do stuff like this, oh, that's good. And you see, like, Bob, like, what? Especially from when I was younger. I mean, they just criticize you lazy, you this, you ain't shit, in so many words, okay? Had me walk around feeling like I slumped over and whatnot. So, as I got older, I strived to make sure that, I was going to be somebody and I'm going to do something, which, fuck them, I probably would have always anyway. These people have these agendas and they don't like you, and they hiding from you who you are and your truth and all of that type of thing, and they're trying to destroy you and whatnot. They don't want you to come in that space. But see, this is what I didn't know that. So that was the, that's nice. Yeah, babe. In other words, let me get to the kitchen and do my shit. Put some shit in the food, go down in the basement with the church members. Freezer jar spells and all of that type of shit, so the bitch don't be shit. But besides that, so when you look at the, in the midst of you doing, be all that about it, because you're doing, you're doing awesome things. You're doing awesome work. You're taking what was, because this was something I wanted to do, was given to me to do. So, hey, okay, because I realized, like I said earlier, it's only two things they can say. Yes or no. But if I don't go in, if I don't put myself out there, ain't nobody going to say shit. Because you're not putting it out there. And, they used to tell us in church, I think it's a worldly thing too. I don't know. Hell, if God give you something to do and you don't do it, it will be given to someone else. And you don't do it, and then you sitting there watching TV and somebody doing something like, well, I had the idea to do that. Yeah, bitch, but you didn't do it. So let me see. So, be proud of your real work. Not getting online trying to destroy people with lies and shit. That's not work. And just saying, how's this, how's that? How? Where? What? Nobody gonna tell me who the fuck I am. Nasty. Fucking wretch. What they say in church, wretch undone. Okay, this one I really like with Reverend McMickle. I don't want y'all to see that.
Hi, I'm Karen Butler, Director of the
Okay.
Cleveland Department of Public Health. The Health Department operates the city's Bureau of Vital Statistics, located in Cleveland City Hall at 601 Lakeside Avenue in room 122. Did you know we can now issue birth
I'm not going to,
certificates
like I
for
said,
all
40,
births
because
in the state
when I
of
tried to,
Ohio?
it messed
You
up the
can
whole
also
thing.
purchase birth and death certificates on the internet, by mail, by phone, or in person. We can issue death certificates for all of Cuyahoga County except Bedford, East Cleveland, Euclid,
It's
Lakewood,
nasty.
Parma,
It's
and
nasty.
Hazel
It's
Heights.
nasty.
The required documents
Silly ass
are,
girl.
for birth certificates, name at birth, date of birth, city of birth, hospital, father's name, mother's maiden name. For death certificates, the required documents include
Just give it a
name of
shake it.
deceased, date of death,
It's
and the number
coming.
of copies requested.
Yes,
If
hold
you are
on.
walking in for service, you will need photo
Be
identification to enter the
patient.
building. If no photo identification is available, you may ask the guard for assistance. For more information, you may contact the Bureau of Vital Statistics at 216-664-2315 or 216-664-2317, or visit us at our website at clevelandhealth.org.
I didn't create the intro, so I didn't put the white Jesus in there. That's not my doing.
Greetings once again, Cleveland. I am Nikki Kenyatta Lewis.
Nikki
and welcome
Kenyatta
to
Lewis.
Today. Today, our guest is
She over there in Cleveland being nasty.
He is the pastor of the very historic
Silly
Antioch
ass.
Baptist Church right here in Cleveland, Ohio. And I must say it is an honor and a privilege to have him as our guest as we learn more about the Baptist denomination/church, who he is, what he has shared with our city, and what his next steps will be as he progresses forward. Dr. McNichol, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a joy to be with you.
Great. Joy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, your education, and so on and so forth.
I'm a native of Chicago. I was born there in 1948, which means I'm 62. Went to college in a small religious school just outside of Chicago, which is Aurora College. Got a BA in philosophy there. Went to seminary in New York City at Union Theological Seminary. While I was in New York, I worked at Abyssinian Baptist Church for 4 years in New York City, where Adam Clayton Powell had been and where Calvin Butts is today. Calvin and I worked together. I did 2 additional years at Columbia University while I was in New York. Then I did a Doctor of Ministry at Princeton and a PhD at Case Western Reserve. From 1976 to 1986, I was the pastor of a church in Montclair, New Jersey, which is sort of near New York City. And then we came here in 1986, and I've been here ever since until the end of this year, when I'll be leaving to go become the president of Colgate Rochester Crozer Divinity School in Rochester, New York. So
That's an honor, and your education is extensive and it seems like you walked in the footsteps of some very historical important people.
well, it's been a fascinating time. I was in high school studying to be a printer, graphic design,
Okay.
and hot type, liner type machines. And in high school, I worked for a company called Poole Brothers, Poole, and their sole product was Playboy magazine.
Wow.
So at the age of 17, I was the printer, among others, for that magazine. One afternoon, I was sitting in the lunchroom reading the Chicago American, or one of our local papers, and I read that Martin King was coming to Chicago that weekend to begin the open housing campaign that he started in 1966. So I decided I would go
I ain't gonna,
to that because I never got to the deep
you know,
south
you know,
part of the civil rights.
show that whole thing,
But he was
all right?
coming right to Chicago. So I went, and I'm deeply involved in
Now,
the movement that year, and that really was a defining time in my life because while I had sensed
Reverend McMichael was a well-known theologian, Well, no, nationwide. Okay, he was here in Cleveland. He was pastoring here in Cleveland, not just in Cleveland, but nationwide. She wants what I have, which is nothing. I call these people myself. And didn't nobody help me do shit. She come to an earth angel who throws her dirty panties in people's houses and let her animals shit and piss all over the house and then invite you over to eat and haven't cleaned up shit. Are you fucking kidding me? I have nobody's help. It's not a complaint. Are you fucking kidding me? I did that shit. And a whole lot more. Okay. So, you know, you want to get on and lie. Follow me all over the country. Lie about who I am and what I've done. And you don't know me for shit. She wants what I have. That's why she lost her divinity. She's not divine anymore. You ain't did a motherfucking thing for me to want. Just make up shit.
Contrary to your better judgment.
Now this is Islam.
Corresponds with everything that you believe in.
I ain't gonna do short long.
Professor of Islamic Studies at Cuyahoga Community College. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
First of all, tell us about who you are, just some background information and what you do.
Hey, my name is Fuad Ahmed. I was born in Buffalo, New York.
If I remember correctly, he was the... Hold on, let me see.
The family went back to Palestine.
Let's see, hopefully it doesn't mess up. The children!
And do not text
We love the children's. I think he was the head of the Grand Mosque here in Cleveland. Which is, if I remember, I think it's called the Islamic Center of Cleveland. But it's the Grand Mosque. I believe that's who he was. This was fun. Look at that, Gordy. This is fun. I used to be a... Nikki Kenyatta Lewis.
Our guest today, Fuad Ahmed, is here to inform and educate us
I
on the
believe he
religion
was,
of Islam. He is the president of the Islamic Center of Cleveland,
yes,
also known as the Grand Mosque, as well as a former professor of Islamic Studies at Cuyahoga Community College. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
First of all, tell us about who you are, just some background information and what you do.
Hey, my name is Fuad Ahmed.
Okay. I ain't gonna stay on that long. I'm just gonna show one more, because this is the lady that was the yes, he was the president of the Islamic Center of Cleveland, the Grand Mosque. That's the mosque. Again, the Grand Mosque.